Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Georgiana with Expressions Craft Studio, and it is January 4th, I think, of 2025. So yes, Christmas is over, but I received these before Christmas, and I just did not have a chance to get to them. So I'm going to go ahead and play with them a little bit. This was a kit, which the reason I bought it was for these plastic, or what do you call it, acrylic discs. I thought they'd be a little thicker than they are. They've got quite a little bit of flex to them, but they ended up doing what I wanted it to do. However, if you don't want to do what I'm going to show you, they do come with ribbon to hang them, and then a bunch of little stickers to put on them. And these are quite cute. I think there might even be 40 of these, I'm not sure, but they're little Santa Clauses and just little Christmas things. There's a snowflake. So you could always use these on them. I actually thought I would save these and put them in the cards I make next year for the Angel Card project and send them to some of the kids so they can have some little stickers. Well, that's cute. So the kit comes with these, and you don't need to do what I'm going to show you, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Cricut and etch on them. And this is the first time I did this. I actually did one yesterday for practice, and I learned a few things, was reminded of a few things. Let me get that crinkly paper out of the way. And that is to get my stuff centered. I don't know if you can tell, but I didn't quite line up my disc correctly. My hole and the top of my snowflake do not line up properly. Also, I brought the tape too far into the edge, and so the edges of the snowflake in a couple of places did not get etched. The other thing I didn't like about it was I could have brought my etching a little bit closer together. So I have done the file again, and I'm going to load my mat, and we'll try this again. Now, I did try rubbing some paint in here to see if it would make it stand out more. It didn't really have an effect. Maybe if I put some paint on the background or some vinyl on the background, it'll stand out better. I don't know. Yeah, so I'm still up in the air, but I'm anxious to try it again because I want to see if this new design that I have made my line spacing on the etching, or the offset, a negative offset, a little bit smaller even, so it's a little bit darker, and I'm hoping it'll show up better. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our mat out, our Cricut mat. Oops. And I'm going to go ahead and take the protective plastic cover off of one side of this. Now, it came up a minute ago, and now that I want it to, it won't. Here we go. Maybe that's it. Okay. And I'm going to leave it on the back because that'll protect it from the mat. Now, you are supposed to use a strong grip mat. Let me see if I've got mine. Okay. I do. We'll have my strong grip mat here, so we'll swap that green one out for this purple one. Take that off of there. Whew, still smells like it's brand new, even though it's not. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to center this. So I tried using the very center, but what I really want to do is, well, no, that is really what I want to do. Okay. So these ornaments are roughly 4 inches wide. This was a kit I got off of Amazon, so if you're interested, I will link it below. They may still have it, even though it's after Christmas. This actually, if you use the stickers and the ribbon, this would actually be a really good project to do with younger kids. Maybe not too young, because you want the placement of the stickers to be kind of neat, but yeah, let's see. I'm just trying to get this centered because I didn't do a very good job last time. So what I'm trying to do is line up this line here, the number 6-inch line, in the center of my hole here to hang the ornament. So but it just doesn't seem to be measuring quite right. Something I'm doing isn't quite right. because I have this edge of the ornaments right on the line, and yet there's just a little bit like an 1/8 inch gap over here. So maybe the ornaments aren't cut quite square. I am not sure. So I have the bottom of the ornament on this number 8 line. Yeah, they're not quite 4 inches, because this round part should go all the way up to the top here, and it doesn't. So maybe that's why it's not quite lining up. I feel like it's pretty good though. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my painter's tape, and I'm going to tape it really good across the top. I'm going to be careful about the bottom, just because that is, I don't want the score tool or the edge tool going over the tape. So I'm just going to tape that down, give it a good press, and then I think if I take this other one, my practice one, and I line it up better, but I'm going to line it up like that so that my ornament, or my snowflake, is straight up and down. So I'm going to line this up as good as I can on top of this other ornament with my point of my snowflake going up, and then I'm just going to rip off small pieces and try to tape them between these other points. Oh, I don't want to do it that way though. I don't want to tape it right on top of that ornament. Okay. So push that down, line it up mostly again. I'm probably making this harder than it needs to be, but it really bugged me that that wasn't straight up and down. So let's see. I'm going to kind of put that there, and oops, I don't want to press that down yet, and there. Okay, so move that to the side, tape it, make sure it's good and stuck, and then we're going to send it through the Cricut. Now this is going to take a while. I don't know how many times it's going to go around, but it's going to go around a few. So I'm going to load it, etch it, and then we'll come back and remove it from the mat. All right, we're back. We have run through the Cricut Maker 3 here. Looks like there's a hair on there. And before we go any further, I just wanted to show you the buildup that ends up on the top of your, or the tip of your engraving tool when you're doing this. I did take this brush as I was going, this soft tip brush, and kind of push stuff, try to push it out of the way, but it's hard. It's difficult at best because, oh, that won't come off there. It's probably a bristle off of this, because you don't want to interfere with the machine when it's doing its work. But you could use canned air. However, I would caution against that, just because these fine plastic pieces, whatever, plastic dust is going to go everywhere. So if you have a small vacuum cleaner with a hose on it, you might try that, but again, you're going to want to be very careful while the machine is working so as not to disrupt or dislodge it or move your mat in any way. So I'm going to get a piece of tape, because I don't want this stuff blowing around my room. They're already saying that they found microplastics in human beings, and in the water sources and various things, so I don't want to. Actually, if I push that, so it's not really sticking to the tape very well either. So I've got a Kleenex here, which may seem like the wrong choice, but it is getting it off of there. So I think you can see it's much cleaner now than it was when we started. Despite my best efforts, I still didn't get my tape in quite the right spots. So just a little something to be aware of when you're working. You could always make your snowflake smaller so that it doesn't come all the way out to, or as far out to the edge as mine does. Mine does not come all the way out to the edge. Give me a second and I'll give you those measurements. Just trying to get this tape off of here. Now I would imagine if you do this a lot, some of this dust is going to end up on your mat and it's going to make it not as strong a hold. So you may want to cut as many at one time as possible. And if you're good at your placement, or you've worked out some kind of template or something, maybe you could probably do that. You can see I've picked up a lot of those little particles. So let's get another piece here. And if I had my small vacuum cleaner out, I would try that, but I don't have it out and I've kind of run out of plug-ins, so still picking stuff up. So just trying to remove as much of that loose microplastic dust as possible. It's not working very well in some cases, but better than nothing. So you can see we still got some off of there. So I'm going to lift up this last piece of tape here. And we'll check out our design. Ooh, that was a little stronger now. Oh, okay, that was the shadow. I thought that was the back piece coming off of there. Get that mat over there out of the way. And I'm going to run this lint roller across it just to pick up anything extra that might be on there. And you're not going to be able to see it, but I can see lots of plastic, little white bits on there. So I'm going to get rid of that. Let's see if I can maybe pick up a few more. Okay, good enough. So I'm going to remove the backing piece, the clear protective cover, and then we're going to compare these two. So let me see if I can zoom in. I have to stand up here and resituate. So with this one on the right, I did it with 0.01 offset, negative offset, and you can see it doesn't show up as well. On this one, I did negative 0.005 offset, and it shows up a lot better. And actually, despite my worries about the tape, it seems to have worked all right. The other thing I changed was, because I didn't fully know what the thickness of this was, I did this one on a 2mm, which it isn't. I changed the Cricut setting on this one to a 1mm, and it worked so much better. So I may go ahead and put some paint in there and see if it'll settle better than it did on this one, because it just did not work on this one. But the engraving is so much better on here, it might, and even if it doesn't, you can see it so much better. I mean, you can hardly see this one, but you can definitely see this one. So between applying the extra pressure, by setting it at a 1 millimeter thickness instead of 2, and by adding more lines, engraving lines, by reducing the negative offset from 0.01 to 0.005, and then just repeating that over and over again until there was nothing left to cut to offset, I got a much better cut. So I think let's try and add some paint here. You can still see that even with that blue background, whereas this one you can hardly see at all. So that's very nice. So I'm going to just get that paper out of the way, that cardstock, because I'm afraid it'll just be in the way. And grab our baby wipes. I love baby wipes in the craft room, so I'm just going to do what I did yesterday, which ended up all wiping off, but I'm going to put a little bit of drop of paint in here. It isn't going to take much. Might take 2 drops. And this is the metallic blue sapphire from Folk Art. I was using this on Christmas ornaments. It's not, there you go, now you can see it. And basically I'm just going to smear this around with my finger. Now you could use a brush or, you know, a sponge or whatever you want to use. I'm just using my finger. Rather than dirtying up another tool, I'll be able to wipe my finger off easily with the baby wipe. And I might end up needing another little drop. Let's see, I'm just trying to rub that in really good. Yeah, I'm going to need one more little drop. Let's put that. Okay, so I'm going to come out here and finish this one. Work up there to that one. Oops. And then do this one. Now, yesterday I didn't let it set very long before I wiped it because it's pretty quick drying paint normally. And I wasn't sure if that's why it wiped it off or out of the etched part or not. So we're going to do it again today and just see what happens. Get that finger cleaned off. That worked better than yesterday. Alright, so we're just going to gently wipe. Okay, so this definitely is working better with the deeper etch and the closer together etches. I'm just trying to keep my baby wipe here pretty flat so it doesn't end up wiping off stuff that I don't want it to. I think I must have gotten some on the back. So let me flip that over. And yes, I'm trying to use as much of this baby wipe as possible. No, it's not on the back. It is on the front. So just trying to get those edges cleaned up. Alright, let's see here. Okay, that's pretty good. There's a little bit of a fingerprint up here, which I can only assume is mine. Okay, I'll get a paper towel. And I probably should have used that to start with, but The baby wipes are leave a little bit of fiber behind, so. Oh, see, it did still get up some paint. Flip that over, make sure the back is clean. Yeah, that's pretty good. It still needs cleaned up a little bit better, but I'll let that paint dry some more before I do that. So we're going to bring our black piece of cardstock back in, and I'll put these away. And you can see the difference. So this is what I wanted it to look like yesterday, and it just wiped all the paint right out of it. Now you don't have to put the paint in it. You can leave it clear. It certainly shows up clear, but I wanted to see what it would look like with the paint in there. And it looks lovely. So there you go. So I'll put the link for these below. I believe the Snowflake design is from Creative Fabrica, so I'll confirm that, and if that is true, I will put that link below as well. It is an affiliate link. I do make a little bit of a commission. It doesn't cost you anything extra. And the same with the Amazon link for this kit. Now again, you don't have to do the etching with a Cricut. If you don't have a Cricut or Silhouette or whatever, you can just use the stickers that come with it, or decorate them however you like. You know, you have options. So there you go. Quick and easy, down and dirty, and I actually love the way that one turned out. And I don't know if you noticed, but I did get it a lot straighter. The hole to hang it with is here. Top of the snowflake is here, straight on down. So I did manage to get that straighter. And the other thing I thought you could do if you wanted to not worry about getting it straight was just offset it a little bit so that this valley here, or this valley, is more lined up with that, and then it will be harder to tell that it's not straight up and down. Anyway, that's what I've got. I will go ahead and do a quick little video on how I did the snowflake in case it was hard to follow the verbal instructions. That way you can watch along and see how I did it if it's something you're interested in. And you don't just have to do this on snowflakes. I've got another design that I have bought the little acrylic lights for that I'm going to do. It's got a little unicorn on it inside of kind of a floral pearly wreath, I believe. And I did it the same way, and I think it'll be lovely. So we may do that next, but in the meantime, I want to say thank y'all for joining me. Looking forward to the new year here, and until next time, guys, happy crafting.